What is up, everybody? Golden Holden here, and today we have a pretty interesting video planned out. So we have this car hubcap, and we kind of want to showcase our chrome stripping machine and the techniques we use to plate an item this large. And we also want to show off our ability to be able to brush plate a large item and break down the areas that we will be plating. So we're going to be using our Universal Plater Chrome Edition, and we will get right into the video. So to first start off, we are going to go over the equipment we have. So we have the Universal Plater Chrome Edition, and in this Chrome Edition we are using our chrome stripper, our surface activator, and our 24 karat brush gold solution. And we'll be going through each step and showing off how each one works and how to properly apply it to our plating process. So the best way to really break this down is we need a way to hold this up so all of our solution drips off of it in one direction, so we're not getting it on what we've already plated. So I just have this gallon jug here just to help hold up our hubcap, and we also have something to catch our solution. We don't want this just dripping onto the table because it's really hard to clean up. So we're going to try to keep it in a contained area. And then we have a spray bottle with distilled water in it so we can spray off our part and clean it after every step. We also want to make sure that we are being safe, so I am going to be wearing safety glasses as well as gloves so no solution gets in my eyes or on me. All right, so let's get our part ready. So I'm going to take off these little bolts, and these are just put on with little pegs, so it's pretty easy to take them off. And when we are chrome stripping, we do want to make sure we are not getting the chrome stripper on our gold solution. So we want to be working from the inside and working our way down. That way the solution is always dripping off of our part and it's not getting back onto that gold. Because some solutions, when you are plating, can ruin the gold, and we don't want to go back over it and fix it. So our chrome machining is actually pretty unique in its design because we have this little switch back here, which when we flip it, it turns this little light on, and that means this machine is now in chrome stripping mode. And that turns off these two ports, and they're not able to work. So when we're plating and chrome stripping, when we strip the chrome off of this, we want to make sure when we go to the next step that we turn off this switch and go back to our normal plating. And then you'll have to adjust your voltage to what these require. So my plan today is actually pretty simple. I'm going to be working in each section of these areas, and I'll go through the whole area and bring it up on these sides about to the middle, and then I'll switch it and start plating the next area and going around. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to turn my chrome machine into chrome stripping mode, and I'm going to get my common, and these are covered, so I'm just going to clip my common to these. So if they do get scratched a little bit, they're not going to get ruined and you won't see it. And when you are plating something like this, you do want to plate an area that you can't really see, just to see how your plating works and if it's not coming off easy and just stuff like that. Just make sure you're going over your area. So like on this part, I would probably plate on the back of it because this is going to go against the tire and you won't see it. So we have our machine in chrome stripping mode, and we have our chrome stripper, and I'm going to work up here and work my way down. See how our liquid is dripping down to the bottom? Just like that. That's what we want. So I'm going to start just a little bit, and when we are chrome stripping, it does turn the machine's volts all the way up to the highest it goes, and that's best for chrome stripper because it removes the chrome really easily. And you can actually see it, the nickel underneath this is a little brown like it's a brown color, and the chrome stripping is, or the chrome is a silver color. So we want to make sure we are getting that brown color. So while I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, I need to make a buffer zone so I can plate on this machine and have a little area so I don't plate it over in gold. Because if you plate up to this line where the nickel is, you'll create lines on your piece and they'll be noticeable, and you don't want lines on your piece because people will see it and it just doesn't look good when you're plating. So I'm kind of creating a buffer zone where like I'll plate up to a certain point and I won't plate past it because I can blend my gold in while I'm plating onto this part. So you have to be kind of thinking to yourself while you're plating items, what's the best way I can plate this so I can create a zone that I'm comfortable of plating within, and I'm not going to be creating lines in my piece. You can see while I'm plating this, my sleeve is getting yellow, and that means it is taking off this chrome and getting that fresh nickel layer underneath it, which is a great sign when you are chrome plating. And you want to make sure you are rinsing this off and getting fresh chrome stripper on your sleeve. That way it's not getting too concentrated and it can cause marks that are not wanted when plating. So I think I've gotten the area that I want to plate stripped pretty well and ready. And I'm noticing while I am plating this, fumes are coming off this chrome stripping. So you want to be in a ventilated area so you're not breathing in those and it's irritating you while you plate. So I'm just going to rinse this off with our fresh distilled water. And we want to make sure all this solution is rinsed off good. You can really see that nickel layer and where the chrome ends and where the nickel starts. All right. Now we need to get this surface area activated, and we want to make sure our whole entire area is wet out. So you can see it's kind of breaking right here. And we kind of want to just keep that so it doesn't do that while we're plating. So now I'm going to turn off our chrome stripping mode, and I'm going to turn up my machine to 5 volts, and that's when I can start activating the surface of this area. So I'll start where it's breaking the most. That's good. And I'm going to just activate this whole area. I do have a woolly sleeve on this surface activator. Usually you can use whatever sleeves you want. I found that this sleeve is the easiest. So I'm just going to activate this whole piece, and you just want to go over pretty quickly over this part. You don't want to sit in one area for too long, and you don't want to activate your surface for too long because it can ruin it. So I'm just quickly going over it on the 5 volts and getting it all ready for the gold to go onto it. All right, so I got this all surface activated. So this surface is all ready to get plated in gold. So now this is the important part. We want to turn our volts, and I'll turn mine to about 3.3 volts. And I'll get our gold sleeve. And we're using gel because it sticks to the surface the best, and it's not going to run off, and it will be plating it good. So see how it's not like dripping off? If it was liquid, it'd be a little harder to plate this because it's not sticking to our part, and it's not going to really plate really that good, to be honest. So I'm just getting our gel and brushing it over the areas that I want to plate. So again, I'm making that buffer zone, so I'm not gonna plate past that, so I'll just plate right here. And then up here, I'm just gonna plate this area. Right here and right here. Just so we have it in the proper area. And I'm doing this all on like 3.3 volts, which it won't plate the gold on that fast, but it'll get it started. And then I'll turn up our volts. I was just applying it just so it's ready. And now I'm at 3.4 volts, I believe, or 3.5. You can see that it's not plating on very quickly, but you just need a little patience and it'll start going. All right, you can see that this is now plating onto our surface. We can start plating all of our areas. Now, you do want to be cautious of how much you are using, because brush gel does go by pretty quickly if you're not careful. So I'm just breaking this down, just plating the areas I need. I'm going to plate this area pretty good because it's kind of a little trickier to plate in here. And we'll go into a time lapse of me just plating this. All right, so we have our surface all plated in the gold that we wanted to plate. So we'll just rinse off the gold. And I know a lot of people, if you want to save your gold, you can rinse it off in a different solution so it's not mixed with your chrome stripper and your surface activator, and you can actually save your gold and try to reuse it. But you can see we plated to where we needed. We made a little buffer zone on all of the sides that we were plating. And now we're actually just going to keep plating until we get to this bottom, and then we'll switch our hubcap around. So now we need to strip our bottom part of our hubcap. And I know usually if you're doing this on a car, you'll be doing this on rims, but this also applies to rims as well. We're just doing it on a hubcap just so we can show how to plate an area like this properly. We also have a lot of people asking how long will the plating last on certain items and stuff, and it depends on what the item is being used for and what the conditions it's going to be in. So like if you wanted to plate, for instance, this hubcap and it's going on a car, you probably want to put a clear coat or something on it just so that the gold lasts longer. It will be harder to fix the gold on it because you would have to strip off that clear coat afterwards to replate it. But the gold lasts, how long the gold lasts on a part just depends on like what conditions it is in. If it's in high areas of being rubbed and being contacted a lot, it's going to rub off fairly quickly. So this is really good for just display parts that sit out for a while, because the gold will last on them for a lot longer than it would if you're putting it on a key or something that you're using every day to get into your house, because the gold will wear off because it's getting rubbed so much. So it just kind of depends on what you're plating your gold onto and how much contact that gold is going to be in with its surroundings. So we just got this area all stripped, and we are now going to activate the surface and plate it. And again, you want to just leave that buffer zone. So from here, like right here, you want to create a little buffer zone and plate up to right here so you have a little extra left over. All right, I got this surface all activated, so now I'm going to be plating this bottom half. I'll just start right where we left off, and this is where you can blend in your gold really well. It takes a little bit of patience, but honestly, it looks really good once it's all blended in. It does take a little bit to get the gold started on these pieces. You can see it's going on right here. And all you have to do really is just blend it with this as if you were just painting the gold on. Just like that. And now you'll have a really good blended area because we gave it that buffer zone. So I'll just rinse this off and show you, and then I'll get back to plating it. You can see that it's starting to blend really well right here. And you'll just continue to plate your part how you normally would. All right, so we have gotten the section that we want plated, and it's looking pretty good. So now I'm just going to move on to the next section and repeat the process. And brush plating is a process where you have to be very patient, and it takes time and a little bit of skill to do it. But once you get the process down the first time, you can repeat it, and it makes it so much easier the next times you do it. So just remember, it just takes a little bit of practice and a lot of patience to plate an item with a big surface area. So I got this second section done with the gold plating, and I'm going to just keep repeating that for the other 3 sections, and this whole thing should be done. And again, just remember when you are plating and you're using the chrome stripper that you want to flip the switch on and off when you are using the chrome stripper. So flip it on when you're chrome stripping and turn it off when you're using the other 2 solutions. And another thing is, make sure you're creating that buffer zone, because it helps a lot with blending, and it makes really smooth transitions throughout your piece, so you're not trying to get rid of the hard lines when you're plating. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going, and I'll show you the end result after it's done. All right, so I've gotten this hubcap all plated and cleaned off, and it's looking really good. And I hope this video just helps you see more of the process of how to plate a larger area and how to chrome strip and use the chrome stripping machine to help strip off the parts of chrome and plate them in gold. It's a really easy process. It just takes a lot of time, and you have to be patient when plating. All right, now all that's left to do is just to put these little pieces back in, and it is all plated. There we go. That looks really good. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this video helps answer a lot of questions about chrome stripping and plating bigger surfaces. And if you enjoyed this video, go check out our other videos on our YouTube. And please leave a comment below asking any questions that you guys have. And we'll see you in the next video.